Can't help myself but be an asshole now. So CIA salary pays enough for fancy organic Valley milk that he's putting in the regular plastic recycling. But they're the guys that tell you that you gotta sort your garbage by height and weight, and the CIA is putting cardboard in the plastic recycling night. I guess you get special privileges when you work for CIA Nazi bioterrorists. That's the guy that ran my car's house. Don't know who God is. Well, I know super villainy crime when I see it. Meow. Ugh. Walk in the house and my mom's got their fake news on the schemes they do. Right when the Vegas sniper hoax was getting exposed, Trump started saying fake news, fake news, fake news. Again, Trump is an insider. He did the fake earshot. But simple maneuver. What do the Google search results say for fake news? People start looking up Vegas sniper hoax. The Vegas sniper had a 13 tattooed on his neck the day before the shooting, when he took a photo at partying. In the opening scene of The Hangover, I don't think The Hangover has anything to do with them. I think they're doing witchy connections that, dead end leads or whatever, but they were probably up late one night watching The Hangover and said, oh, that's a great idea. Right in the beginning scene of The Hangover, you can watch it yourself. It pans past the Vegas sniper's room, and the song goes, got a number 13 tattooed on my neck. And then the Vegas sniper in his autopsy photo didn't have a 13 on his neck anymore. Not his death photo. That might be a little harder to find, but it's out there. I've seen it. So, once it became obvious that the Vegas sniper hoax was a sniper hoax, you can still find ABC News, George Stephanopoulos, his 9-hour coverage. A couple of times they replayed it by accident. The camera's panning, the camera's zooming around, and you hear a woman say, while they're interviewing, so she was right next to the camera, I'm not buying it right now. And that's one clip, and they edit it so it's not continuous, but then she says, I see people laying, but I don't see anybody actually injured. And she was 50 feet from, the 49 dead people? Massive army, bioterrorist Nazis, taking over NATO, taking over Israel, taking over China, which I guess people would expect, but again, the Chinese NVIDIA ban, the ban against NVIDIA's 4090s going to China because the AI was too sophisticated. First of all, Gamers Nexus went to Taiwan to get a 4090 when he couldn't get one in the US, so Chinese spies can't get to Taiwan. But I don't know about spycraft, but a Chinese guy couldn't get on eBay and buy 50,000, or he'd have to pay a premium, and you'd only need one to reverse engineer it. So, but they want their fake war on China. Again, they did their fake war on China stuff right before the congressional COVID hearings. China floated Civil War technology, a weather balloon, across the U.S. Look at us! Look at us! Look at us! You're about to have the COVID congressional hearings. Something might come out we're not expecting. Hey, China is spying on you. Like China has a camera and a microphone in everybody's pocket with TikTok, with other apps. China has spy satellites. I can count your ear hair from space, I'm sure. There's no tactical reason for them to float a balloon across the U.S., but that's their pump priming in case something came out in COVID, and they could have been like, "We think China might have done it," and people would be like, "They were just flying a weather balloon across the United States. It must have been them." Like that's the psychological warfare that NATO and China wage against the world while they're bioweapon attacking the planet, while they're cooking our brains with 5G, while they did their bioweapon so that they would mask the symptoms of cooking our brains. The brain fog, the loss of taste and smell, the trouble breathing, the low-grade fever, all symptoms of VMF poisoning. Death sometimes. And then they turned around and said, "We've got a cure for our biological weapon." And they made $1.3 trillion off their jabs. So that's like the CEO of Pfizer, Merck, whoever else, dividing $1.3 trillion amongst themselves, friends and, special. So they probably only got, 50 billion each or something. All of NATO's rogue. China doing evil. Israel gone full bioterrorist Nazi. Again, it's 15 years of false flag war off 9/11. Not one image of the horrors of war. Not one Iraqi toddler on the news. 15 million people died in that war roundabout. Now we get endless, this toddler was crying because of the Israeli, it's still awful, but, it's pretty strange how they're engineering this war. They're engineering a fight. They're engineering a religious war. And when I was a kid, you had the newspaper editorial section with, ask your priest and a rabbi. And you'd say, my husband wants to get a divorce, and well, what should I do? And you're wise religious guys weighing in on it. They've put now they're starting a religious war. And now you can find any crackpot rabbi is getting massive airplay. This is what they think. No, that's what one crazy rabbi thinks. I've heard what's that bishop guy that got fake stabbed? He's a Cabal member, the guy with the hoodie. Fucking crazy. Giant cult of evil people doing massive evil, and again, this evil brain bug stuff that they're cooking our brains to put into our brains to make us crazy, to make us unsensible, insensate, to make us less compassionate, less caring, less concerned, apathetic, nihilistic, depressed, gets more profits for them. Since 2010, 99% of people haven't heard of this, unless you're in a health section of the world, but unless you're a nutritionalist or something, or you follow that stuff. But we've known for the past 16 years that type 2 diabetes, 90% of type 2 diabetes cases can be cured with 1 or 2 8-day fasts. And you've never seen it on the news because if you have diabetes, they got their commercials, they're making money off of it. The people who pretend they're concerned with you, the people 7 on your side, and have hidden from the public that there's new knowledge that you don't have to kill yourself with diabetes medication. Like diabetes medication is a death sentence. It's a death sentence for your liver. But 90% of cases get cured with 1 or 2 8-day fasts. It's a giant cabal of evil in control of everything, pretending to be your friends, pretending to we're the special enlightened people, and we tell the peasants not to shoot each other by faking school shootings, and that's what they think. And they ain't got no sense to them. They don't know how people are. What it does is it makes kids nihilistic. It gives kids ideations about, oh, if a school shooter came in here, how would I handle it? That becomes ways of considering dealing with life for kids. Makes kids scared, makes kids depressed, makes mothers angry. You're not allowed to go outside. There's the school shooters out there. You're coming home right after school. You're not going to play with your friends. Decreases happiness, well-being, and all that gives their evil brain snake, evil spiritual forces a better stronghold in people's lives. I was just reflecting on when they came for me. All the songs they hit me with. That's where you hear about like the sex cults and stuff. Weird Nazi stuff. They weaponized a lot of music against me. I want to go all out and talk all about it, but at the same time, I feel bad because they're just stupid people doing stupid things, but they're weird, bizarre, witchy cult people. Too much to get a handle on. No honesty to them, no integrity in them, no decency, no friendliness, nothing real or sincere. Nothing honest. And that's how they get the brain bugs. Or maybe they get the brain bugs first and then they start acting like that. And again, fault finding, like they were kids that got their brains cooked by neurotoxins too. I remember vividly when I got the flu jab when I was 3 years old and I had a huge fever dream. I didn't know at the time that was neurotoxins working on me. That was mercury coursing through my body, fucking me up, but that's what they do to babies every day. Your government colludes with China, colludes with England and Israel to bioweapon attack the planet. They like to kill 15 million people. They killed 15 million people with COVID, and then probably another like 500 million maimed severely for life, and then another, couple billion that are gonna have lower quality of life. You expect like sometimes I'll be like, hey, surely like some like army guy is gonna hack CNN one day and be like, we interrupt your program. Like, you think like somebody would say something or but no. Nazi bioterrorists, false flag wars, fake school shootings, fake terror attacks. Like all the terror attacks are faked. Maybe some of the Israel rocket attacks are real, but I'm sure some of them that just happened to hit a school again was probably Mossad operations. Crazy. But I've seen the world go Nazi before. It's my whole childhood. It's not the Jews. It's your government engineering it. Like the same people who were reacting violently after false flag 9/11 are the same people who are like, oh my god, look at what Israel's doing. And it's on purpose. Again, they're 1 in 3 U.S. female vets reports sexual assault. So if 1 in 3 U.S. female vets is reporting sexual assault, then probably, a couple 100,000, maybe not that many, but Iraqi women could be reporting sexual assault. I didn't hear one news story about it, but the IDF's committed 2 sexual assaults in like the past 6 months, and it's just in the news and then in the news and then in the news. Ugh. 1 in 3 female vets reporting sexual assault means around 100,000 cases during the Iraq War. Ugh. Crazy. I mean, play the devil's advocate here, like modern sexual assault standards. I'm sure they're not all real sexual assaults. Like some guy who tackled 15 guys in the barracks also happened to tackle one woman, and she was like, "You touched my boob," and But still, I'm sure most of them are real and serious. Hey. Anyway, that's what your government does. That's the cabal weaponized people against people news. I rewrite history. Like I paid attention to history as a kid. I paid attention to history as a young adult. I never heard any stories about cannibal Indians, American Indians, but now the rewrite is, they were cannibals. Like, yeah, like one tribe out of 1,200 tribes was cannibal like 600 years ago. But they did their smallpox blankets then, I'm sure, because they're doing COVID now, and they did HIV recently. Again, if you're my age and you remember the HIV hoax epidemic, HIV, like Dr. Wilner pointed out on YouTube 30 years ago now. He died 30 years ago. Young, healthy guy. Not young, but 65 and healthy academic, died while on tour exposing that HIV was a hoax. He pointed out that it was a disease of starvation that we'd known about since like the 1930s or something, but when they told us it was new, they're like, oh yeah, this is a new thing, someone had sex with a monkey. What was happening was particularly gay men were taking party poppers at all night raves or whatever, and it was like meth, it's just destroying their health. And so they rolled that into a fake epidemic. 1993's Nobel Prize winner for inventing the PCR test. Nobel Prize winner agreed with him. And that was 1995. And Fauci was out in charge of that. And Dr. Wilner called him genocidal. Now, the way they work is they do swarm and paint targets. So maybe Fauci's a useful idiot to them, and he's scratching his head oh. But they started giving out AZT for HIV, and AZT was a known poison. They discontinued it in the 1950s. So they tried it as a cancer drug, and it was killing cancer patients. But clever like they are, they knew if they gave it to HIV patients, they would die slowly. So they said, we've got a miracle drug. And they lowered the dose so people didn't die slowly, quickly, but it was still poison. It was still, again, there was a YouTube video that's probably long gone, long censored, but it was, these guys are going around, independent reporting, going to HIV clinics. They get tested at one, tested another, and they get tested 5 times in one day. Like one person getting tested 5 times in one day, and it'll come back positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. That's life destroying. That's like if you got one test and they flipped the coin and said, "Oh, you're positive," you're spiral of depression and doom and death and loathing and self-loathing. So they don't believe in evil demonic activity, but everything they do lines up with evil demonic activity. But they do their triangle finger stuff, so maybe it's what Yahweh rescued people from in Egypt. Egyptian brain snakes that make people gods. I don't trust a lot of Alex Jones stuff, but Alex Jones hit the nail on the head with standing in front of the Washington Monument, and he's like, look, I don't think this is a channel to space that is going to make them god men, but they do. And that was the Egyptian brain snake thing, was the pharaoh was a god because he got whatever, the snake coming out of the headdress represented. Crazy. I can't put a handle on it. Like, I hate dealing with it in established religious tropes because I don't know where the bad guys are. But at the same time, it's the only point of reference I have for it. Crazy. What else goes on? I don't know. I mean, like, the remarkable stuff, like, once you know what they do, then, like, that the guy who's standing there at the head of the 9/11 memorial saying, we remember the victims, is the guy who did it, and, like, you're just like, You can still find on YouTube, quote-unquote evil Bush laughs at JFK Gerald Ford Memorial. That's Bush Sr. when a lone gunman... He laughs to his friend, like when you have an inside joke. Only he's doing it for assassinating a president. He was there that day. I hate to question a man's valor, but I really wonder about his World War II story of the other two guys in his plane died and he miraculously survived. Like, maybe that was his... before they did pedophile sex cult, they made sure that you had a body on your hands to blackmail you to be president. All that goes on. I mean, it's literally, like, they literally do the mafia style, like gangster style. You've got to have killed somebody. You've got to gone to pedophile island. You got to be blackmailable to get like a major position of power because they control all election. And again, like I think I said it the other day, but I don't think I quite got it articulated enough. Like, the same people who say we need voter ID are the same people rigging elections, but they have their fake or maybe real, sincere, like true believers who are willing to do the wrong thing, messing with ballots, but they're catching them, they're exposing them, they're saying we need more ID, which equals more surveillance state, more police state, less freedom. They're telling you that while they're rigging elections, while they're, while it was a breath away from saying Bush, Clinton. While they do their, right before Hillary Clinton lost to Trump, bomb in Chelsea. Right before Pam Bondi releases Epstein files, massacre in Bondi. And this is the weird woo-woo psycho-spiritual stuff. This is why it's very important to keep yourself a good, honest person. These things get a foothold in you, and it's, look here. Hey. So that's how they do their weird psycho-spiritual blackmail. I'm positive that the Dalai Lama was all about the Epstein stuff. When the Dalai Lama molested a child, and he was like, squeezing the kid's cheek and like, yeah, like, and they're like, oh, he molested a child. Like, it was obviously a non-story, but like, these guys are 160 IQ, nuanced, liberal about things that benefit them, not actually liberal, not actually concerned for other people. But they put it out there as like a public blackmail against all their insiders that they use pedophile blackmail on. Maybe headline headline pedophile. He's a pedophile. He's a pedophile. And it just gets how they attack their insiders. I've got experience with it. It was I was watching The Tudors, like the third to last episode of The Tudors, when they burn a witch at the stake, and like her friend gives her like a grenade to put around her chest, so when they burn her, she'll blow up. And it was like this little leather satchel, and they got the triple word score Scrabble bonus because they also tagged Marjorie Taylor Greene with that one. It was like 2 days later after I watched that, or the timing was even better than that, but you know, like I was watching it in sequence, so I was gonna be watching it when I watched it. But anyway, like that was the news story. It was like a little satchel bomb was brought across the border. But then they changed the story to it was a thing of sand. It wasn't a real bomb, like so like a guy was carrying a leather satchel of sand, like I can't leave my country without my satchel of sand. That's the weird witchy attacks I get. I was thinking to myself, so our government, I was like, oh, so the government's putting voices in my head, that's what's going on. And then 2 weeks later, the Fort Lauderdale shooter is like, oh, the government's putting voices in my head. Fake shooter. Controlled script. My friend, I've been wearing flip-flops ever since I went to California, and it was freezing out here one night, and my friend bought me at 7-Eleven these weird little, had like an animal face on it, socks. Because my feet were cold, and the next day, the newspaper headline, there was a woman getting like Christmas, charity Christmas gifts, and she had like that same animal face on the news headline. Like, maybe that's coincidence, but the other stuff, like, it happens too often. I'll be thinking something or doing something, and then all of a sudden, a news story is cult of psychopaths have taken over your government. Use Egyptian death magic or whatever. I have no idea. Again, I say magic, like, there's no such thing as magic. People interacting with evil spiritual forces, and the evil spiritual forces do something, but there's no, like, oh, I've got great magic power. I mean, most people are well aware of that, but I feel the need to put the nuance that I've discovered into it. When they came attacking me, completely not talking about me, and they're like, so you want to play with magic? Because I was playing World of Warcraft. Like that's their that's the way they accuse. Again, like the stuff they do with the FBI befriending a special needs guy to make him into a terrorist so they could pad their terrorist numbers. Waiting, like pushing him to buy a grenade, and then he bought a grenade and they locked the guy up for life. And like that guy's never going to see the light of day again. And he's a terrorist. And because the FBI showed up and was like, instead of being like, "Hey buddy, how you doing? Well, see, you're not too swift." They're like, "Hey buddy, you're not too swift. Death to America? Yeah, go out, hang out. Death to America, dude. I'm gonna do some. Here, buy a grenade." It's the spirit of entrapment, even if the letter of the law doesn't say it's entrapment. Hey, evil shit, crazy shit. And it's tax dollars, like, I know they don't have every single congressperson, but you sure have a lot of them. They don't have like the Rand Pauls or the Bernie Sanders or the Ron Johnsons, but they got a lot of them. And that's where your taxes go. Your taxes go to bioterrorists who figure out how to make your life shit. They call it problem, reaction, solution news, where they, there's no sentiment for it, so they do a fake news story to get sentiment for it so they can pass a law, so, they can have more control, have more power, have more draconian evil shit going on. Made the whole atmosphere of the planet suck. Like, the whole atmosphere of the planet, they just make people, again, less caring, more nihilistic, more blasé about stuff. They're probably gonna die tomorrow on a terror attack, so why care? That gives them more power because they know they're faking it, so they're investing in the right places off their false flags. They're investing in the right places off their terror attacks. They know that a new defense contract's going to be signed because they're about to do 9/11, so they can make lots of money. I'm sure, I'm positive. There's no other sensible reason for it. That when COVID happened, big toilet paper. I mean, I'm trying to be serious, but I'm trying to make a joke, but it's true. Like, big toilet paper must have said, oh, you're going to buy a weapon to attack the planet and we're not going to get any money? You're going to do a run on toilet paper, or we're going to tell Secret Triangle Finger Club that, I don't know what to do. But anyway, that's why we had to run on toilet paper. Like, it makes no actual sense. Like, and again, they fake all news, so. Like, people would have been buying canned goods. People would have been buying, I don't want to get graphic, but you could take a shower if you don't have toilet paper. If you're frickin'... if you're starving, it's a bigger problem. Like, there would have been a run on water, there would have been a run on, And they do their bullshit with their, with the COVID jabs. Their fake story of a pharmacist burning down, and then they got caught. Like, there's always, you can tell, fake news because arson goes undiscovered for decades, unsolved. Murders, rapes go unsolved for decades. But every last news story, here's the guy that did it. Here's the kid that did it. Here's the kid that did it. Here's the guy that did it. Is it the bomb in Chelsea one? A hobo. A hobo. Only wanted a case of beer for finding the bomber. He saw his picture on the news and he's getting drunk outside of a convenience store and saw the guy. Like 2 days later, solved. 340 million people in the U.S. I didn't even remember seeing an image of that guy's face, but somehow that guy, the hobo, instantly busted it. All the fakes, all the school shooters, all the terrorists there, instantly solved. Like the Berlin truck attack. German intelligence. Agent Anal O, secret agent Anal O, had busted Anus's gay Muslim preacher right before the attack, and they knew where to find the terrorists. Like, and again, like if the stories they say were real, like all of Israeli intelligence should be fired. The Israeli army should be disbanded for allowing a 7.5-hour long attack by men who escaped in golf carts that go 15 miles an hour 7.5 hours after the attack began, when their attack helicopters have a less than 5-minute response time, when they're the world's 18th strongest military, defending the world's 152nd largest country, defending a 36-mile border. And terrorists drove through the streets for 7.5 hours in golf carts. They infiltrated on flying mopeds. Like, that's, you can see the jokey looks on their faces with the news setup of it. Guys holding hostages without weapons. Like, Israel has 7% private gun ownership. Israeli police carry assault rifles. plenty of Israeli soldiers were told that said that they were told to stand down that day. Like people who walk a border and get sniper fire at them randomly. Were told that day it was too dangerous to go out. They wanted their false flag war. This is what they meet at the, I don't want to cast blanket accusations, but I'm sure if you go to a UN meeting, I'm sure a solid 80% of these people know what's going on. Psycho terrorists make life shit for everybody and think it's their job because they went to Klaus Schwab's Young Leader program where they get indoctrinated into, it's a little statecraft. This is what we do. That ain't it. That ain't it. And all that goes on. Your government tortured dogs on purpose, paid $89 million of your tax money to torture dogs after they did false flag 9/11, so they'd know how to better torture innocent people who they knew were innocent because they knew they did 9/11. Like what level of psychopath are you dealing with when Trump is like, I got shot in my ear, don't trust me, everything's gonna be okay. The level of psychopath that would torture dogs so that they could torture people that they know are innocent. All that goes on. Crazy. What else they be doing out here? My personal complaint is year 17 of mind control, gang stalk, torture, and endless media attacks, endless song attacks, endless psycho-spiritual attacks. They came for me. I was a happy atheist, and they said, "You're St. Francis, you're King David." I was like, and then they said, "Gonna stand there and watch me burn. I love the way you lie." Like, well, I died believing it. I assume I was sincere when I walked from Italy to the Middle East. I don't think I thought it was a special club of you get to walk from Italy to the Middle East. I believe in honest and good things. Anyway, that's what they tell me. That's what they told me in their mind control torture. But I can't speak for God. I can't. I don't know. My argument would be Rihanna was entrapped by death threats and sex cult and Jay-Z, and Jay-Z was talking stupid shit. But it goes on. It goes on and it goes on and it goes on. They make life shit. They make people callous, cold. The same people who, I'm sure to each other, are like, "Oh, it was so insulting to you. Didn't you feel bad? I felt terrible." Are the same people who make fun of, safe spaces or whatever. Like, that's their divide and conquer stuff. The same stuff where they're the same people that sent ICE and then fake the Renee Good and Alex Preddy deaths. The same people are the people, being like, "Oh, you need a safe place. Oh, you want a safe place, you snowflake?" Like, they're controlling the dialogue. They're controlling They weaponize hurts. The same club that ran black slavery in America is the same club that is like, "Hey, rapper, shouldn't you need to be out in front and tell people about all your pains," and then they're faking police executions of black men. Like, they're the same club, same people, same ethos, same whatever spiritual force, but they completely pivoted. The same people that did the HIV hoax. "You're gonna die, gay man," and "Oh, look, there's a gay man on that block, everyone move out, quick, everyone stay away." are the same people that are saying, "Oh, LGBTQ, you not, oh, you don't, you're not a they them. How dare you?" Ugh. Since they cooked everyone's brains, since they made everyone crazy, since they're doing their AI mind control stuff, this stuff works on people. People become easily suggestible. They weaponize kids. Kids discovering sexuality, you're 13, 14, confused. I'd imagine I got to discover it when I was 4 years old and 8 years old with their strategic child molestation. But anyway, I'd imagine that stuff works really good on, a 14-year-old. Didn't you feel like you should cut your penis off? You're insensitive. You don't. Oh, I don't want to be insensitive. The same people who, Trump is standing against men and women's sports are the same people that pushed, oh, you don't want men and women's sports? What are you, sexist? Like they just take anything sensible, like women's rights, women's suffrage, the same club that was opposing it. Now it's like, oh, shouldn't. Anyway. All that goes on. Crazy Nazi psychopaths don't have a decent bone in their bodies. I'm sure they're nice to their dogs, but again, they're sending guys to torture dogs. I'm sure they're nice to their kids while they're molesting their neighbor's kid to put them into their sex cult or whatever. All that goes on. And again, it's no fair. I cry foul. I was like, oh, this is no fair. I was sitting home saying, no, it's not the mafia guy's fault. He was brought up that way. It's not their fault. They should have been taught better. Hey, well, they tortured me into madness. So. Can't quite be myself while they're torturing me. Hey, my daddy brought me up in war museums when 9/11 happened. I was like, oh, more of this stuff, I'm going back to sleep. I was like, oh, if they come here with AK-47s, I know the streets, I know Gully Stream well. Hey. Same people who say never forget 9/11 are the same people that did 9/11. They want you angry, they want you fighting, they want you killing people. It gives whatever evil demonic powers they work for more power over people's lives. If it's some kind of like energetic thing, like demons need people homes or something. Seems like they're manufacturing people homes for, I don't know, again, demons, unclean spirits, sins of Egypt, I don't know. Navajo skinwalkers. Something foul. Something not right. And all that goes on. So for my part, they should be stopped. They should be arrested. They should be told, no, very bad. I'm not even, I've never believed in jailing to rehabilitate a person. For my part, that's my opinion. Someone ought to tell them, no, you don't get to poison my babies. Someone ought to tell them, no, you don't get to bioweapon attack the planet. Someone ought to tell them, no, you don't get to fake all news. Someone ought to tell them, no, you don't get to exploit Mexican labor and then blame Mexican labor for the crimes of billionaires. And all that goes on. It's amazing the liberal kind views they have. Like, I was a lifelong liberal, but that they don't apply to anyone. Like if you're on the outside of what they see as right, then it's 17 years of torture. Like, literal. I pushed my own front teeth out with my tongue because it hurts so bad. Hey. But again, I guess you only have so many nerve endings in your brain, so. But that's why they have the guy that ran my car down my block. It's just like a constant, you know. It's like if you got raped and then they moved your rapist in next door and they're like, hi, you gotta walk by your rapist every day. You never send their front line. Ain't no Obama or Trump coming here. They're just ordering torture. I'm right here. I'm mighty handy with a slingshot. In my life, I keep saying I've never gotten into a fight in my adult life, but there was a kid eyeballing me one night when I was rollerblading when I was like 20 years old. And he came attacking me, and I had a yo-yo in my pocket, and I was good with the one yo-yo trick, and I hit him in the face with the yo-yo. Not a violent person, but these guys pushed real hard to make me so. These guys pushed real hard to get me to react. So my reaction is, you're a Nazi bioterrorists, false flag war profiteers, don't know who God is. But you guys are sinister evil. And again, with the psycho-spiritual attacks, with the like evil demonic possession, like it twists you to try and make you smile about like evil stuff to like, you know, yeah, that's funny. And so you can see it on their faces when they're like, you know, he doesn't get it. Like their whole brain is gone. They're just accepted that they're the special evil people. And when they came for me, they were Club 50-50. We're 50% good and 50% bad. Like it plays in a church. And you know, a guy's repenting of he stole cookies when he was 8 years old. Feels bad about it. It plays in a temple. And you say, oh, I cheated on my taxes, I shouldn't have done that. It doesn't play when it's, well, we do bioterrorism, and we run a charity for special needs kids that we just created by cooking their brains. That doesn't play. That's far beyond the pale of good and evil. And for my part, I hate thinking about these things in extremes. I just can see what it does to life and people's attitudes and people's happiness and people's confidence, people's joy, people's peace. Makes everything suck. Makes everything bad. Makes everything foul. Makes life no fun. And if I'm not having fun, if I'm not having fun, then I'm not having fun. I'm a very selfish person like that. So anyway, that was like their taunts have been endless. They made trigger warning a thing, trigger warning, while they were torturing me. Hey, you just triggered. Like while they're actively torturing me, while they're gang stalking me, while they're running their death threats, while they're cooking my brain and I'm watching it with the sky poisoning. And again, the brain cooking's extra. The mercury fillings are all covered up, but they're there. Did extra damage to me because aluminum and mercury, when mixed, turn into little bitty spikes. But that's how they do. That's what they did with vaccinations. That's what they did with climate change. They did climate change so they could get to bomb us with neurotoxins, so they'd have a plausible reason to bomb us with neurotoxins. Every time a disease died off, measles died off, the graph of measles deaths looks like this, and it just plummeted. And then they handed out their vaccinations and said, look, our vaccinations cured it. Like, nope, they just figured out an angle to plausibly poison babies. And that was in 1960 something, so they've got a whole if you're younger than 70 years old, I mean, it didn't roll out right away heavily, but you look at the younger generation and you say, oh, if you're 80 years old, and you're like, oh, well, they're so senseless. They've been purposely cooking our brains. Purposely frying our brains. Purposely making us, less intelligent, less wise, less sensible. And all that goes on. For my part, for their sake, I hope it's the Book of Daniel. I hope they're just greatly defiled people, and they'll be just fine. I hope it's a no-fault crime and brain snakes are opportunistic creatures, but the secret alcoves they run in, where they make this stuff, more reachable, where someone can threaten to throw Rihanna off a balcony so she joins their club. That's where I don't get the Christian stuff. That's where I'm like you've heard the story. Like, this girl was, innocent, and they indoctrinated her, and people are like, oh, she's gonna burn in hell. And I'm like, I don't know. But I never lied about it. I believe that. I don't know what goes on here. I do not know. Crazy. And again, that's if I can trust their, you were St. Francis, you were King David. Sneaky Pete. You're Sneaky Pete. What does that mean? Why are they calling me Sneaky Pete? Again, I try not to talk about things until I have a handle on them, and at this point it's just so far beyond the pale that I'm comfortable guessing. It's so far beyond, you wouldn't want to be like, oh, I'm pretty sure that guy's a Nazi. I wouldn't want to accuse him, though, because people look at that. But it's far beyond the pale here. Making life suck for everyone. Making life shitty for everyone. And they just keep going. They keep on with their torture. I ain't had the decency to move out the Nazi gang stalker from my block. I just keep going. The only package I ever had stolen from my house was when I ordered earphones, freaking hands-free, whatever, headset, Bluetooth headset for was shopping for my friend's mom, and every time I go into the supermarket, it'd be like I'd be thinking about something, or something happened, just before that, and then that would be the song that was on the radio. They find a song that lines up with that. Plus, now that I know that all music is controlled, like if you're a normal person, it rolls off of you, but now that I know it's all controlled, I can't listen to any of it. I backtrack. They say I love the way you lie, but I remember when I was a kid, I backtracked and I said, oh, so this song was indoctrination song for secret club members? Are you getting it? Yes, am I getting it? You're really getting it? Yes, am I getting it? That's, they call themselves Lucifer worshippers. Lucifer is the morning star of Venus. Their best song ever. I hate to ruin such a good song in anybody's mind, but we're heading for Venus. but still we stand tall. Like, you're at a rock concert with 18-year-old chicks throwing their bras at you. It's not exactly a stand. But that's how they think. That's endless multi-millionaire songs about complaining about how bad their lives are. So anyway, all that goes on. All this crazy stuff goes on. There's a lot more crazy stuff that I just haven't gotten a handle on, but all that craziness goes on. People who want to make the world better probably get run right out of Congress. People who want to make the world better, they're lower club members. I'm sure, they get to be a mayor of a town or something, but anything that's life-changing, they reserve for secret special Nazi cult members who fake their ear shootings or their wife rails them, and so they're blackmailable. Hey, and they've been torturing me and they want me dead, and I don't know how I'm still alive here. Like, this is... Where are you gonna run to now, little rabbit? So I ran over here. Right over here. I'm playing There Are Billions. I heard a quote. This is the trying to stave off all their mind control torture. That's what all those supplements are about. I've never heard it before in my life, but it accumulates things like a dying man accumulates cures. They keep me on the edge of death with their mind control torture. And that's what they want for everybody. That's why they did COVID. That's why they cook our brains. That's what they're building with their AI mind control system, their 5G surveillance state that can read your thoughts. That's the most scary thing to me. The most scary thing to me is like that they backed off a little bit on jabs. But controlling our minds is like paramount to them. So I'm sure they backed off on jabs, with the RFK stuff, because they know every child born from now on, a supercomputer in a basement in Langley is gonna be mapping a child's brain, and little Timmy's 847th billion neuron just fired at the same time that he ate applesauce. That means applesauce in his brain. When that neuron fires, okay, we've decoded his brain with AI. Alright, now tell him you've got to kill the Prime Minister of Micronesia. Hey, and that's what they do. That's the stuff your government does. That's where trillions of tax dollars go. They're not misaccounting for it. They're doing black ops. They're paying their psychopath friends. All that goes on. Hey. So anyway, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna lay here and keep praying. Pray every night. It's like, God. I went around 7 years with like actually no sleep while the evil demonic stuff's sifting through my brain. I got no sleep. I don't know how I survived. I survived on coffee and cigarettes. But anyway, well, I'm still here, Nazi bioterrorists. You guys got tanks, you guys got bombs, you guys got secret assassins and secret armies. But instead they move the weird witchy people into my neighbor's yard, and move the weird witchy people down the block, and more weird witchy people down the block. Like, the gang stalking stuff is endless. I'm on Facebook one day and I scroll down and I stop and read 10 Sanskrit laws of ancient whatever. And then I go for a walk an hour later, and the guy on phone speaking some language. Hey, right when he passes me, Sanskrit! Hey. That sort of thing. When they first came for me, I got into a fight with my cousin's roommate, and I said some stupid fight stuff. And they repeated it behind my back in the supermarket the next day. That was when they first started, so I wasn't very confrontational. I told my family the devil horns thing is arbitrary. It could just as well be the hang loose thing, the hang loose like the surfer thing. And then the next day in the supermarket, there's a guy with the hang loose, and he's on his phone, and he's just walking. Like, I go over here, and he's walking in front of me. I go over here, and he's walking in front of me. I mean, I'm doing the telephone sign now too, but like the back of his shirt had like, and it said New World Order, hang loose. Every last one of them maybe has the feel of a psychopath. Every last gang stalker has the feel of very off people. Hey, but I am a crazy person myself. I remember when I got high one day. I was a young punk rock kid, and I purposely went into a biker bar just to see if I had balls to walk into a biker bar as a punk rocker. I myself am a stupid person. Hey. But anyway, all that goes on. The world needs good, honest people in charge of things. The world needs Ron Johnsons and Rand Pauls. Bernie Sanders. People who might not agree on policy, but are at least looking at policy honestly. Like, I came up with this analogy, and I'm sticking with it. You could have, like, what we have for government is if you knew somebody who was like, oh yeah, like if your transmission died in your car, and you had like one friend who said, oh, you should get a new car, and another friend who said, oh no, you can get it repaired at my friend's shop. And they would both be honest, helpful opinions. Like, that's how left and right should be. But as it is now with our super corrupt government, it's, the guy's like, oh, I get a kickback every time I send somebody with a transmission, but if you get a new car, I'm not going to get anything. You should go get that repaired. Or the other side is, my car dealership friend gives me a kickback anytime I send somebody over there. You should get a new car. Like, there's no sincerity to it. There's no honesty to it. There's no actual helpfulness to their solutions. It's only to benefit their club of evil people. It's only to benefit the billionaires. It's only to benefit psycho-Nazi people that torture dogs and cook babies' brains, while they tell people it does no harm, while they tell people it's for their benefit, while they tell people, like, this is for your good. Crazy, but this is where I hate myself for not being able to stop them. This is where I hate myself for not being kinder. So, like, this is not the way to be. You shouldn't be this way. This is where I hate myself for watching it go on, not being able to stop it. Because I just want to fuck off and play video games, honestly. Like, that's all I want to do with my life. I had my life picked out. Sit there and watch TV. Watch TV with my best friend every day. That was good for me. That was enough for me. Now Nazi psycho crazy people here to torture me. And they don't like it very much. They don't like mind control torture. Oh, anyway, all that goes on. Again, there's worse things. I could be working in a sweatshop, making sneakers to make billionaire soccer players or basketball players rich. I could be working in a slave mine, mining batteries for our phones. Child labor, making batteries for Elon Musk's cars. It could be worse, but none of those things should be either. So anyway, all that goes on. Psycho-Nazis. I'll tell you, this is how it works.